Psalms 9:1. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart, for I will recount all of your wonderful deeds. Now there was a man of the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Micah, and he said to his mother, The 1,100 pieces of silver that were taken from you, about which you uttered a curse, and also spoke it in my ears, behold, the silver is with me. I took it. And his mother said, Blessed be my son by the Lord. And he restored the 1,100 pieces of silver to his mother. And his mother said, I dedicate the silver to the Lord from my hand, from my son, to make a carved image and a metal image. Now therefore I will restore it to you. So when he restored the money to his mother took 200 pieces of silver and gave it to the silversmith, who made it into a carved image and a metal image, and it was in the house of Micah. The man of Micah had a shrine, and he made an ephod and household gods, and ordained one of his sons, who became his priest. In those days there was no king in Israel, so everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Now there was a young man of Bethlehem in Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite, and he sojourned there. And the man departed from the town of Bethlehem in Judah to sojourn where he could find a place. And as he journeyed, he came to the hill country of Ephraim, to the house of Micah. And Micah said to him, Where do you come from? And he said, I am a Levite of Bethlehem in Judah, and I am coming to sojourn where I may find a place. And Micah said to him, Stay with me, and be to me a father and a priest, and I will give you 10 pieces of silver, a year, and a suit of clothes, and your living. And the Levite went in. And the Levite was content to dwell with the man, and the young man became to him like one of his sons. And Micah ordained the Levite, and the young man became his priest, and was in the house of Micah. Then Micah said, Now I know that the Lord will prosper me, because I am a Levite as a priest. In those days there was no king in Israel, and in those days the tribe of the people of Dan was seeking for itself an inheritance to dwell in, for until then no inheritance among the tribes of Israel had fallen to them. So the people of Dan sent 5 able men from the whole number of their tribe, from Zorah and from Eshtaol, to spy out the land, and to go explore it. And they said to them, Go, explore the land. And so they came to the hill country of Ephraim, to the house of Micah, and lodged there. When they were by the house of Micah, they recognized the voice of the young Levite, and they turned aside, and said to him, Who brought you here? And what are your doings in this place? What is your business here? And he said to them, This is how Micah dealt with me. He has hired me, and I have become his priest. And they said to him, Inquire of God, please, that we may know whether the journey on which we are setting out will succeed. And the priest said to them, Go in peace. The journey on which you go is under the eye of the Lord. Then the 5 men departed, and came to Laish, and saw the people who were there, how they lived in security, after the manner of the Sidonians, quiet and unsuspecting, lacking nothing that is in the earth, and possessing wealth, and how they were far from the Sidonians, and had no dealings with anyone. And when they came to their brothers at Zorah and Eshtaol, their brothers said to them, What do you report? They said, Arise, and let us go up against them, for we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good. And will you do nothing? Do not be slow to go, to enter in and possess the land. As soon as you will go, you will come to an unsuspecting land. The people are weird. The land is spacious, for God has given it into your hands, a place where there is no lack of anything that is in the earth. So 600 men of the tribe of Dan, armed with weapons of war, set out from Zorah and Eshtaol, and went up and encamped at Kiriath-jearim in Judah. On this account that place is called Mahanan Dan to this day. Behold, it is west of Kiriath-jearim. And they passed on from there to the hill country of Ephraim, and came to the house of Micah. Then the 5 men who had gone to scout out the country of Laish said to their brothers, Do you know that in these houses there are an ephod, household god, a carved image, and a metal image? Now therefore consider what you will do. And they turned aside there, and came to the house of the young Levite at the home of Micah, and asked him about his welfare. Now the 600 men of the Danites, armed with their weapons of war, stood by the entrance of the gate. And the 5 men who had gone to scout out the land went up and entered, took the carved image, the ephod, the household god, and the metal image, while the priest stood by the entrance of the gate with the 600 men armed with weapons of war. And when these went into Micah's house, and took the carved image, the ephod, the household god, and the metal image, the priest said to them, What are you doing? And they said to him, Keep quiet, put your hand on your mouth, and come with us, and be to us a father and a priest. It is better for you to be a priest in the house of one man, or to be a priest to a tribe and a clan in Israel. And the priest's heart was glad. He took the ephod, the household god, the carved image, and went along with the people. So they turned and departed, putting the little ones and the livestock and goods in front of them. When they had gone a distance from the house of Micah, the men who were in the houses near Micah's house called out, and they overtook the people of Dan. And they shouted to the people of Dan, who turned around and said to Micah, "What is the matter with you, that you have come with such a company?" And he said, "You take my gods that I made and the priest, and go away, and what have I left? How then do you ask me, what is the matter with you?" The people of Dan said to him, "Do not let your voice be heard among us, lest angry fellows fall upon you, and you lose your title with the lives of your household." And the people of Dan went their way, and when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back to his house. But the people of Dan took what Micah had made, and the priests who belonged to him, and they came to Laish, to a people quiet and unsuspecting. They struck them with the edge of the sword, and they burned the city with fire. And there was no delivery, because it was far from Sidon, and they had no dealings with anyone. It was in the valley that belongs to Beth Rahab. Then they rebuilt the city and lived in it. And they named the city Dan, after the name of Dan their ancestor, who was born to Israel. But the name of the city was Laish at the first. The people of Dan set up the carved image for themselves, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, son of Moses, and his sons were priests to the tribes of Danites until the day of the captivity of the land. And so they set up Micah's carved image that he made as long as the house of God was at Shiloh. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let another praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. A stone is heavy, and sand is weighty, but a fool's provocation is heavier than both. Wrath is cruel, and anger overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is an open rebuke than hidden love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. One who is full loathes honey, but to one who is hungry, everything bitter is sweet. Like a bird that strays from its nest is a man who strays from his home. Oil and perfume make the heart glad, and sweetness of a friend comes from his earnest counsel. Do not forsake your friend and your father's friend, and do not go to your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor who is near than a brother who is far away. Be wise, my son, and make my heart glad, that I may answer him who reproaches me. The prudent sees danger and hides himself, but the simple go on and suffer for it. Take a man's garment when he has put up security for a stranger, and hold it in pledge when he puts up security for an adulteress. Whoever blesses his neighbor with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, will be counted as cursing. A continual dripping on a rainy day and a quarrelsome wife are alike. To restrain her is to restrain the wind, or to grasp oil in one's right hand. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Whoever tends a fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who guards his master will be honored. As in water face reflects face, so the heart of man reflects the man. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, and never satisfied are the eyes of man. The crucible for silver, and the furnace for gold. A man is tested by his praise. Crush a fool in a mortar with a pestle, along with crushed grain, yet his folly will not depart from him. Know well the condition of your flocks, and give attention to your herds, for riches do not last forever, and does a crown endure to all generations? When the grass is gone, and the new growth appears, and the vegetation of the mountains is gathered, the lambs will provide you clothing, and the goats the price of a field. There will be enough goat's milk for your food of your household, and maintenance for your girls. Jesus said, "Make the men sit down." Now there was much grass in the place, and so the men sat down in numbers, about 5,000. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. When they were filled, he said unto his disciples, Gather of the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. John 6:10-12. To thank the Almighty for the many and great blessings we have received in the past, and pray that we may be given the strength so to order our lives to deserve a continuation of these blessings in the future. All of the good things that we have are the direct result of God's grace and blessing. For who maketh thee to differ from another? And what hast thou that thou didst not receive? Now if thou didst receive it, why dost thou glory as if thou hast not received it? 1 Corinthians 4:7. Food that we eat, and the air that we breathe, and the strength to work and enjoy life all come from God. We should not ever take that for granted or forget that it is His mercy rather than our merit that brought us into His family and made us the recipients of so many blessings this day and every day, that we have so much for which to be thankful. God has given us blessings that are worthy of our praise and thanksgiving and must never be forgotten. Dear Lord, thank you for freeing trafficking survivors from the horrific slavery. I know that you have come to this earth to set the captives free, and I am thankful that you are a God who saves. Today I ask special blessings over trafficking survivors who have been freed from the bondages of human trafficking and who are searching for healing. Father, their wounds are deep. Their hurts are often unbearable, but I know that you have a plan and a purpose for their life. I ask today that each survivor would be put on a path that leads them to the safety, security, and stability that you desire for them. I pray today that each survivor would know unconditional love, and that you would help them to regain their confidence in who they are, who you say they are, as a child of God. May you bring individuals into their lives that will help to grow and sustain their relationship with you, O God. You are amazing, and I am honored to be called your child. Thank you for what you have done for those freed from trafficking. But most of all, God, thank you for what you are going to do in the lives of those who are now recovering from the trauma of trafficking. May you put a new song in their mouth as you raise them from the ashes, knowing that their testimony will reach others who have lifted and lived through the same trauma. In your precious name we pray, Jesus. Amen.